Alright, it might be a bit before I get around to doing a full-fledged video on this guy, but I want to do a quick painter walkthrough just to kind of show you guys how he was set up. So basically right now I'm on my laptop. If you want to see my full specs, you can just go to my YouTube channel and go to Lumi Questions, and in there is a workspace setup, and that'll have all the specifications for you. But I'm on my laptop right now. This guy is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 texture sets, which means 11 pieces are on him. So if I go into solo here, you're going to see it's just going to show his accessories. So this is one texture set. If I go all and then go into ammo and do solo on this one, you're going to see that this is all one texture set. So I will say that Painter 2.3.1 handled this like a champ. I textured them all in about a day. I was sick on Friday, so you know, about noon to 6:30, this guy was pretty much textured completely. So again, just starting from the top, I'll start with accessories here. And his accessories are just basically his belt and his magazines and his knee pads and stuff. So just basically his lower body accessories more than anything. And we zoom in here a little bit. And I'm just going to go through the layers here. Now, as I was going through the guy, I did notice a couple of errors, and it's user error. It's me not doing UVs correctly or me forgetting to put something in or rotate something correctly. So the cool thing about Painter is I can always go back to my original source OBJ or my source FBX, fix it, even change the UVs up if I want to, bring it back into Painter, and it will update. Even stuff I've painted on, it will remember the brush strokes and paint it on for me. So I don't really lose anything by having errors. It's just a matter of going back to my source and fixing it eventually. So I've got used leather behind everything, and then I've got this fabric soft denim, which I used to tile to kind of get that ribbed texture here. And then I made a copy of that to adjust some of these where the UVs were incorrect over here on this side. And then I've got some plastic, some gunmetal, pistol, paint green for these things over here. And a lot of these are from the Substance Share, shared.allegorithmic.com. You can go over here to materials, smart mass, smart materials. You can browse through here and just grab some. I just, you know, again, the textures thing in a day, I just went and grabbed things that looked cool and then modified them as I needed. For the pouches here, we've got a fabric with some weathering, and then I took a fabric woodland that I wanted to use as the color and then did a hue saturation lightness adjustment on top of that to kind of fix the colors the way I wanted to. And then we got a fabric soft denim copy just for that section there. And I do have a material ID on these things, so if I go in here, I do have like a color selection that I can use. So if I go to pick color, I can pick these color selections. I did kind of a bad job at doing the material IDs. If I had to do it again, I would actually just do it using the mesh and just assign material IDs that way through Painter as opposed to going and baking them out in ZBrush. It's just faster and cleaner. And really, if I click off here and I go to, let's add a paint to this one. And I go to this polygon fill, most everything, and I guess I could just turn on wireframe if I want to, most everything is actually split off into its own piece. He's a bit of a dense mesh. If I go here to all, you can see, and if you want to show your wireframe, it's actually down here in the viewer settings. You can turn wireframe on. You don't have to be in this polygon fill mode, but that'll do it as well. You can see he's actually a pretty dense dude with a lot of pieces on him. But like I said, even on a laptop, handled it like a champ and never crashed. So that was cool. Again, just going through here, we've got a little cleanup on these things. Now, obviously, there's missing a bit of detail in here, and I could go into ZBrush, and like I said, you could drop in Molly stitching as a separate subtool using their curve brushes and stuff, but it's so much easier and faster and more controllable just doing those things in Painter. So I'm going to get to that in a second. We got a fabric towel scan just for the little Velcro piece there, and then we've got stitches that I put in there. And then I did a stitches divot, which is basically just a duplicated version of the stitches with a blur. So on the stitches, I did a sharpen filter. On the stitches divot, I did a blur. The stitches has a height, so I can actually go through here and control the height of the stitches, the sharpness of the stitches, the color of the stitches, or even the roughness of the stitches if I want them to be shiny stitches or matte stitches. And I don't have to worry about getting a clean bake for all these little tiny details. And then once I'm done with that, I just duplicate this layer off, and then I make this just height, pull that height down. I can actually control the divot around the stitches if I want to. And I turn off color roughness metal because I don't really care about that. And then I have stitches, and then I have stitches that go right inside the divot. Without the divot, that's what it looks like. There's a source, there's the divot with the stitches, and it all looks like it fits together. Text is just, and I did this a lot, is just, you know, painting on things through the projection menu here. And then, of course, just some wear, which is used to add a little bit of dirt, some mud, and some roughness breakup. So if I go out of solo mode, if you want to do the hotkeys for this, I think it's Alt Q is to bring everything back. So I can do Control. Let's see what's next. Ammo's next. I'm going to hold down Control Shift and right click, and that'll go ahead and select my ammo texture set. And then I can do Alt Q, and that'll go ahead and isolate the ammo texture set for me.